Good afternoon, everybody. It's Stephen and Paul from WinExtra bringing you your Microsoft Daily Brief for January 25th, 2011, otherwise known as Where the Hell is the News Edition? Because
I don't know. We've got a couple of stories in the show notes today.
Yeah. Nothing really a lot of fun, though.
I don't know. I think, much like it's sort of rainy and dull outside, I think it's pretty much the same in the sort of tech Microsoft sphere today. People are just kind of,
Well, plus, I guess everybody's kind of waiting for their earnings report that's going to be coming out on Thursday for the second quarter. So
yeah. We'll see how that goes. But I expect it to be reasonable. Good.
Reasonable. They probably won't beat expectations, but they'll keep their ground.
It's quite simple. A company can't beat expectations month after quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter indefinitely. Every company has to perform just to expectations at times.
Yeah, yeah. One thing that they have been doing up pretty well is getting their brand buzz up, according to a report from New York-based General Sentiments.
Yeah, I didn't really look at the report. I looked at the Win Rumors article, and I'm kind of, okay. This really is a bit of a non-story, except to say that, Microsoft's brand apparently has more value, which is coming on the back of, Windows 7 sales being magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
Office 20, yeah. Was it 20 or 10 or 2011? 2010, the fastest-selling version of Office ever, and massive Xbox sales, so they're sort of getting dominant in your living room, and massive Kinect sales, so everything is kind of massive sales, massive sales, massive sales. So how could the brand not be going? Really, it's a bit of a no-brainer.
Yeah. Speaking of Office, apparently, I guess Microsoft's added a free 30-day trial version of its Office for Mac software to the Mac Store or whatever. Not sure, but anyway, it's they're apparently going to be beating sales expectations with it.
Yeah, it came out in October of last year. No, sorry. Yeah, it came out in October of last year, but the only way that you could use it before that was if you were able to visit a retailer. But now apparently users can download, the ISO. It's like 600 megs or something from Microsoft's site, and I don't know where they're getting their sales numbers from, considering this is supposedly a 30-day trial version that is being released to coincide with Macworld Expo. So I don't see how it's quite the fastest. How it's beating sales expectations yet. This is another one of those stories that I look at and I'm confused. I look at it and I go, what are they really saying here? The title says beat sales expectations, but I don't see anywhere in the story where it tells us what the sales expectations were or how many units were shipped.
Yeah, it's not saying
Why
anywhere.
Why did you put this in the show notes, Hudson?
Well, because
it's not news.
Well, it is because you can now download Office for Mac 2011.
Do you think any Mac users actually watch this show?
You'd be surprised. I look at the stats and say we actually get a lot of Mac visitors and iPhone visitors. It's surprising how many we get.
Just click through by mistake.
Keeping up with numbers that don't make sense. There's one out now called Analysts Reaffirm Windows Phone 7 is fastest growing platform in 2011.
Yeah, so apparently two different analyst groups have come around and they've said, in 2011, Windows Phone 7 will be the fastest growing platform. But you know what? If they were to double the amount of Windows Phone 7 sales right now, it wouldn't exactly be great sales, even though the platform is growing, but it would be a 200% growth in sales, which would make it the fastest growing platform in 2011. But because, Android and iPhone are not going to double their sales in 2011. So it's kind of another one of those very stupid. What is wrong with the news this week?
I don't know. I really don't know. Like, we get such stupid numbers. It's like...
This is what happens when I let you do the show notes, when I'm not involved.
Hey. How many headlines did you go through this morning to find zip?
I found one story.
Yeah.
I went through 236 Microsoft headlines to find that one. There was nothing out there.
Oh, God.
All right, a bit of decent news, okay? So slides. No, sorry. Microsoft are changing their marketing tactic, as if they already have one. What? For tablets, apparently, and are focusing on the enterprise. Okay, we've seen slides leaked on ZDNet where Microsoft is, working with their OEMs and giving them information about how to educate the corporate market that the iPad is not what you want. Because basically, while it looks slick and it is the buzzword,
it's not Windows.
It's not Windows. It's not corporate friendly. It doesn't have security. It's absolutely, proper security. It's absolutely useless if you're offline. It's not good for creativity. It is good for consumption of data, but not really for the creation of data. Yes, there are always there is always one or two examples where you can, but seriously, folks, the first person to ring in with that and tell me that is going to get a smack over the back of the head. It doesn't play well with other devices. You can't print off the thing unless you go away and get AirPlay supporting printers, etc., etc., etc. The list goes on and on and on, right down to enterprise-level things like being able to push patches and all that sort of stuff. It doesn't even run Office. And they're basically saying, if you buy these things, it's going to cost you a crap load more, and you're going to have to do a hell of a lot more. But does this really mean that Microsoft is focusing on the enterprise with their tablet strategy? Because you know what? I don't think Microsoft has a tablet strategy. I just think their strategy is, okay, how do we stop the growth of Apple into an area that, it can't really go. It can try to go, and it'll go in there, but it'll be like so many other sort of, fad technologies. I know tablets aren't the fad, but the iPad is not designed for the corporate environment. But, it seems cool to have them now. But nowhere have I seen any sort of indication that this means that Microsoft is not focusing on the consumer market with the tablets when they came out. Because quite frankly, as far as I can tell right now, Microsoft has no idea where it's going with it.
Well, when I wrote what I did yesterday, I was going based on the slides that Mary Jo Foley had, and everything is stressing concentrate the tablet on the enterprise market, and I'm saying no.
Yeah, but hold on. I just had a quick look at these slides, okay? These slides are for OEMs, and they're specifically released to OEMs to educate OEMs how to educate the corporate market for tablets. But I don't see how you can get from that it means Microsoft is moving away from the consumer market, or Microsoft is ignoring the consumer market. The simple fact of the matter is that Microsoft has to address this issue in the corporate market, because the corporate market still makes up a massive, if not the biggest part of Microsoft sales.
I think a slide title like Windows 7 Slate PCs designed to meet enterprise end user needs is a good indication that they want the tablets to go out.
You're reading it wrong again. You're taking these things out of context. If these are being sent... I know it's right there, but your brain isn't right there. And here's the reason why. These things are being sent as part of a package to OEMs to educate the corporate market. So, of course, the text in there, the wording in there is aimed at the corporate market. They're not going to talk about the consumer in slides that are aimed at the corporate market. That would be like you going to... I don't know. That would be like you going to go out and buy a rifle, right? And you can buy a rifle.
Can't do that. I live in Canada.
I don't... Well, move somewhere where you... where there's more than 11 people. You can go out and buy a rifle, and, you know, they're not going to talk to you in the rifle store about the ammunition for a 50 cal because you can't buy a 50 cal. It's a ridiculous conversation to have if you're trying to educate people about about the goal that you're trying to achieve. Why confuse lives for the corporate market by talking about consumers? That is a different set of slides.
Which we have
a different set of salespeople. Dear God, Hodgson. Come on, you've been around this game long enough to know the difference.
Oh,
this is
God.
what happens when you don't when I'm not involved in the show notes.
Yeah. Anyway, next, from Joystick, a Game Boy emulator demoed on Windows Phone 7.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of coolness. Oh, bugger off! Just because you don't even know how to play video games and you think it's all, ooh. If it's not bloody Borderlands or Civ, it means nothing to Hodgson. Well, I'm sorry, Hodgson, but there's a lot of people out there who enjoy playing games on emulators on devices that they can, and they're going to be happy to be able to get to play their Game Boy games on their Windows Phone 7. Now, the interesting thing is how you're going to get hold of your ROMs for the Game Boy games, but, you know, that's up to you, dear end user.
Last bit of news, I guess a few shows back, we told Microsoft was going to court to try and see some Xbox Connect-related domain names.
Yeah, there were 7 UDRP cases, and verdicts have been handed down on 4 of them at the time of recording, and even though one of them was just a misspelling, a deliberate misspelling, obviously, Connect.com, www.connect.com. Microsoft still won all 4 cases and now have all the domains. Interesting thing, though, the domains that they have won so far are MicrosoftConnect.com, ConnectGameStore.com, ConnectWorld.com, ConnectPeople.com. And I'm kind of wondering, where was Microsoft prior to the launch of Kinect? Why hadn't they purchased MicrosoftConnect.com?
I don't know. Obviously, somebody wasn't doing their marketing due diligence.
Somebody wasn't switched on at all. You do not release a product without buying. You know, look. Even if you start a website today, right? You buy your domain name, if it's a .com, and you buy, you know, probably if it's available, the .org and maybe the .net as well, just in case. Okay, and then you buy the common misspellings of it at the very least. Now that's just your average Joe Soap who's interested in getting all the traffic for his website. We're not talking about Microsoft here, who should be buying everything with the name Kinect in it, left, right, and center.
Yeah. But anyway, they won, so there's still about 3 more to go. I imagine they probably won't have much of a problem getting that.
No, it's not even a matter of being in court. It's just that the verdicts came down. You know, if you do have a Kinect.com address, though, any sort of a domain name with Kinect in it, you might want to think twice about what content you put in it in case Microsoft comes a knocking.
Maybe. Depends what it depends. Yeah, it depends on your content. I think really more than anything else. I mean, if you're a site that's doing good stuff that's going to be good for the community, I don't think Microsoft will worry too much. But I think it's like Park Domains or ad farm type things.
Now, I think you had a PSA to make, did you? But
I just wanted to give a little bit of a background. WinExtra's actually been around for a very long time, but it started primarily as an NNTP news group, which then morphed into a set of web forums, which still exists today. It's at www.winextra.com/forums. A great group of people have been there for going on 10 years now. You need help with software, you need help with Windows, you need help just want to chat with other people that like Microsoft and Windows products. Head over to the forums, costs nothing to register, and join in with the community and help us grow all across the board. It's all
a little bit of a little bit of Windows goodness. Now, in the forums, it's not all Windows stuff. There's general chat and all that
There's
sort of
jokes
stuff.
and there's graphics, But
if you want to keep up with the people that are involved in driving the show, driving WinExtra, and driving the community around it, and being part of that community, go join the WinExtra forums, winextra.com/forums.
And on that note, folks, we'll call today's show to an end. I'm Stephen. That's Paul.
The missing brain.
Har har. This has been WinExtra's Daily Brief for January 25th, 2011. Let Paul go back to work. Bye-bye.